Hi, I'm Donna Hanlon, Wicomico Superintendent of Schools. What a wonderful time it is to be part of Wicomico County Public Schools. Great things are happening throughout our school system, including here at West Salisbury Elementary. In June, I was delighted to be able to join students, staff, and community supporters for the last day of school in this building and the groundbreaking ceremony for the new West Salisbury School. Construction will get underway in the first quarter of 2017, and we can't wait for you to see West Salisbury School's future as it's built on this site. Let's look back on the groundbreaking ceremony so we can show you why everyone is so excited about this project.
Good morning. This is just a continuation of our excitement, especially today with the groundbreaking of the new West Salisbury Elementary School. Again, thanks to all of you for joining us. We're especially excited about all of our guests that are here. We have guests from every level, from the state level to our local level, as well as our community partners, and most importantly, our West Salisbury families. So thank you to all of you that chose to join us this morning. We will first have the presentation of colors by the Wicomico High School Junior ROTC. Please stand.
Left, left, right, right, left. Mark time, march, colors, pop, left, face, present, arms.
Our West Salisbury second graders will lead our salute to the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I am a West Salisbury Tiger, and that I'm proud to be. You'll know me by the choices I make and good behaviors you see. I am ready to learn, respectful to all, and accept responsibility. I know I can do great things because I believe in me. Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by JROTC cadet and Stephanie Seglia.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that
Please be seated. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is truly a wonderful day. We have some thank yous. And students, if you could help me on these thank yous, that would be fantastic. After I say it, if you'd say thank you and then to whoever it is, could you do that, please? Yes. Okay. First off, we want to say thank you to the legislators at the state level who provided funds for our schools. Can we say thank you, legislators?
Thank you, legislators.
We want to say thank you to our county council members who provided funds for our schools. Can we say thank you, county council members?
Thank you, county council members.
We want to say thank you to our Board of Education who stood up for you every step of the way. Thank you, Board of Education people.
Thank you, Board of Education people.
And most of all, we want to say thank you to moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and pop-pops and mom-moms for standing up and believing in us every step of the way when we really, really needed the help. Thank you, family members.
Thank you, family members.
Excellent. Don't we have fantastic students? Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for believing in this project all the way. This is a truly delightful experience in banking on the future of Wicomico County and Salisbury. Thank you and welcome.
We are excited today to have with us Delegate Cherie Sample Hughes, and she will bring greetings from the Maryland General Assembly.
Good morning. It is such a beautiful morning, and I am filled with joy this morning. And I'm filled with joy on many, many accounts, and I'll just share with you in a moment what those are. I certainly want to recognize my colleagues who are here earlier for the groundbreaking, and the colleague that is here in the audience with us now, Delegate Anderton. Would you like to stand, please? We also had Senator Eckhart and Senator Mathiasson, his love, as well as Delegate Mary Beth Carrozza were here. That just goes to show you that's a testament that it's a true partnership in Annapolis when we are fighting hard for the funding, and I must say it's hard. But here on the Eastern Shore, we deserve it. In Salisbury, Maryland, we deserve it, and we're going to keep fighting the good fight because that's what it's about. It's about our young people. As we had the groundbreaking this morning, I pushed the dirt up, and the dirt came back in my face, and I could feel it, I could taste it. But it was the taste of dirt that I remember when I was in this school 30 years ago, and I fell off the sliding board and got dirt at that time. So it's just amazing to see where and how you'll become or could come full circle in your life. And so I'm so thankful to serve in this capacity, serve in the House of Delegates, and to be able to represent you. And what I would just like to say, if my remark about joy, I think about the journey that it has taken for us to get to this path and where we are here today. I look at members of the community that are sitting here, and they've been patient, but they have been yearning and waiting for this very moment. Then I think about the letter O, the overwhelming support that has been throughout the test of time. And then lastly, the letter Y, I think about the yearning desire that we have as leaders in the community to ensure that the future is much brighter for all you young people. So I stand before you today, just again, on behalf of the Maryland General Assembly, letting you know that we are committed. We will continue to do our best for you and for your future. Thank you. And Ms. Melva Wright, she was my teacher when I was growing up here. So that goes to show you, we've been together too for a long time.
And certainly I have had some longevity in this building because I came in 1983 to teach first grade in room 7 for 7 years. And so my journey at the beginning of my career started here. This was my only teaching assignment in Wicomico County before I became a school-based administrator. And so now back as this principal for the past 12 years, I've spent 19 of my 34-year career in this building. And so you know this is special to me. I'm thrilled at this moment to present the second graders here at West Salisbury to sing a special selection for you this morning We Are the World. They are led by none other but our music educator extraordinaire, Mr. Rick Lambertson. Beautiful job, students. Beautiful. This West Salisbury project has been a labor of love for the West Salisbury community, for Wacomico County as a whole. There have been so many persons that have poured into this project and believed in this project from its insight. We're so excited today to have join us Mr. Charles Gosley, who was the very first principal here at West Salisbury when it opened in 1964. Mr. Gosley, would you please stand? As I said, there have been so many organizations that we've had complete support from, and so I'm so excited to see so many of those people here with us today. We have the NAACP from Wacomico County that has been very instrumental. We also have and Mama Jean would know, I probably call it the West Salisbury Alumni Association. And that's interesting because at an elementary school, you wouldn't necessarily think of an alumni association, but we have quite a few people that actually went to school here at West Salisbury. Now, I went to Chipman, that was at that point known as Salisbury Elementary School. And so, but so many of us have a West Salisbury connection. But there are 4 groups in particular that West Salisbury would like to celebrate today because you've been a key part of the West Salisbury community while I served here as principal. West Salisbury is blessed to have 2 faith-based partners, and we have representation from both those faith-based partners. And so as I call your organization's name, I know who the representatives are. And so from Wesley Temple United Methodist Church, we have Mr. Vance Albert that will accept for Wesley Temple. And this plaque reads, West Salisbury Elementary School celebrates Wesley Temple United Methodist Church for many years as a faith-based partner, presented this 9th day of 2016, and it has our West T Tiger picture on it. And Reverend Dr. Beckett would be here, but they are in their annual conference right now, and so we certainly appreciate Mr. Elbert for his presence. Our second faith-based partner happens to be my church. And I love my church family. And so for the St. Paul AME Zion Church, we have accepting this award, Mrs. Georgia Peoples. And it's probably fitting that Georgia is here because every time we have a family night, any kind of thing like that where we're serving, we call them the church ladies from St. Paul come and serve. And so there are other members here from St. Paul. So if you will stand, and Mrs. Peoples will come and accept this award on behalf of Reverend Dr. Tucker. This is for the Princess Anne, Maryland chapter of the Links Incorporated. And Dr. Mitchell is here. She certainly can take it on behalf of the Links. But the Links started a project back in October with 2 of our 2nd grade classrooms called the Green Star Initiative. And they work with our students every Thursday from October till our visit to UMES in May, at the beginning of May. They were here every single Thursday working with our students on healthy eating, healthy living, presentations about farm tools. We did a presentation about going to college and the importance of going to college, and our culminating event was the trip to UMES, and the transportation was funded by the Links. Just an awesome partnership. So Dr. Julia Mitchell, if you will come and receive this for the Princess Anne, Maryland chapter of the Links Incorporated. And I am certainly a proud member of that chapter. I love the Links. They're wonderful, a wonderful organization. And last but certainly not least, and this organization has been so key with this project. I'm so excited. I met with them. They came here, they met here, and they were just wonderful in the ongoing support of the West Salisbury Project. And they are none other than the Watchmen with One Voice Ministerial Alliance. And accepting that award on behalf of the Alliance today is the Reverend Dr. David McLendon, who is the pastor of the St. James AME Zion Church. Dr. McLendon. You all know it's unusual for a preacher not to say anything. And Inside joke, Dr. McNamara. But certainly, we certainly thank all those organizations and for their continued support of West Salisbury. My task at this point is to introduce our keynote speaker for today. We are honored to have with us as a keynote speaker for today's groundbreaking ceremony, Dr. David Lever, Executive Director of the Maryland Public School Construction Program since April 2003. Dr. Lever is responsible for the management of state funding for capital school projects throughout Maryland and collaborates with 3 other state agencies in the approval of the programming, planning, design, and procurement of state-funded projects. His agency promotes high-performance schools, innovative design and construction methodologies, alternative financing approaches, and the integration of school facilities with neighborhoods and community services. Dr. Lever was Director of the Planning and Architectural Services for Prince George's County Public Schools from 2001 until 2003, following 4 years as Capital Improvement Program Officer. Previously, Dr. Lever had 24 years of experience in private sector construction, architectural practice, and community planning. Dr. Lever has degrees in architecture and urban design from Harvard University and Rice University. Since 1991, he has taught urban design and planning at Rice, the University of Houston, and Virginia Polytechnic Institute, National Capital Region. We are proud to have him represent the state of Maryland at West Salisbury Elementary School today. Dr. Lever.
Good morning. I am absolutely delighted to be here today. This is a fulfillment for me personally for a long struggle, and I know it's a fulfillment for everybody in the room, and some people in particular, those who have worked in the trenches for years to make sure that this project actually came to fruition. I'm happy to bring greetings on behalf of the Interagency Committee on School Construction, the 5-member group to which I report, and which makes decisions about funding recommendations to the Board of Public Works and works very carefully with the legislature on securing funding, making the argument why school construction is so important in the state of Maryland. The IAC, as we call it for short, recognizes that school facilities are among the most important facilities that we build in our society. And they deserve the same level of attention and care in planning, design, construction, and operation that we give to very important institutions like hospitals or city halls or our university buildings. The fact that schools also house a vulnerable population, our children, gives them a special emphasis within the community. A good school, like the one that will replace the school that we're in now, becomes important as a symbol of the value that education has in the society itself. It represents the concern that we have for the lives of our young people who will carry on when we have gone our ways. It's also a physical demonstration of good government at work, the good use of scarce resources and placing those resources into very valuable facilities that demonstrate where the values of the society are. It's also a demonstration of equity, that every society, every part of the society in our democracy deserves the same level of attention, and the children in this neighborhood, in this community, deserve the same level of opportunity through their teachers, through the administration, and through the facility as any other child in Wycombe County, or in fact in the state of Maryland. We have to recognize that a school building built today is taking care of functions that were almost unknown when this school was built in the 1960s. We have special needs children. We have special education, which is now done within the regular school environment in the classroom. We have many children who come from foreign backgrounds, who need attention in terms of learning English so that they can operate within our society, English-speaking society. We have technology education, which was unknown 40 or 50 years ago, which is an intrinsic part of the instructional program. Science has made its way into the youngest ages, and these all have implications in terms of how the facility is designed. Our libraries right now are no longer called libraries. Very significantly, they're called media centers. But books are one form of media, which I personally hope never goes away, but we have other forms of media. So it's not by accident that we now find a computer lab associated with what used to be called the library. But as well, facilities serve the community. And we even think sometimes we ought to change the name from school. It's not so much a school anymore as a community center in which education occupies the largest amount of time, but it performs so many other functions for the community. Before school functions, after school in the evening, weekend functions, supporting activities within the community for adolescents, for children, for adults. And all of that also implies that designs can be quite different. Our environmental concerns are different than they were 40 years ago. We have knowledge of the effects of indoor air quality now on attention spans, for instance, with children. We are aware of the respiratory impacts of children with sensitivities. And if they're going to be included in the regular classroom, as they should be, then we have to be very conscious of the quality of indoor air. Daylighting and regular lighting, like the kind we have in this room, are very important too, obviously for the learning experience, but now there's evidence emerging that the presence of daylighting inside the classroom has very positive benefits in terms of the ability of children to learn and advance. Acoustics are very important. We're much more aware now than we were before of how distractible children can be, and the science of how to separate out the noisy spaces from the quiet spaces in school, even how to separate two classrooms from one another, how to dampen out mechanical noise so that they don't form distractions for the children. All of this becomes part of our understanding of the environment in which children are going to be spending many hours out of their day. So this implies that school design will be quite different than it was. The footprint will be larger. We've done comparisons of schools that were built in 1970 to schools that are opened just recently. In Anne Arundel County, we found one school built in the 1970s, averaged out to about 77 square feet per student. For the same number of students, that school built today is about 130 square feet per student. That's a reflection of some of the changes that are happening. The designs are also more complex. We used to have straight wings with classrooms. That was all, just classrooms. There might be a toilet, and then exit at the end. Now we find in that same classroom wing small spaces for pull-out, for students who need one-on-one instruction or need small group instruction. We find planning spaces for teachers. We find resource rooms where various activities can take place. We have a combination of quiet spaces and noisy spaces. And how do you combine those? That's where the skill of our architects comes in, to be able to meet those various needs, all of which can be running concurrently in a school and not have the acoustic impacts from our noisy spaces. We know how noisy kids can be when they're doing sports, when they're doing music, but not have that impact on the need for concentration in the classroom. We also have spaces that are repetitive, typically the classroom, and then we have spaces that are unique. And all of this has to be integrated through design. So we have a collective task of how to build good schools. West Salisbury Elementary School was built in 1964. It has never been renovated. It has had improvements since it was built, but it has never been fully renovated. This is an old school in a very stable community. We have every expectation that the new school that will replace this one will still be in operation 35 years from now, perhaps 50 years from now. Hopefully along the way there will be one renovation. That would be normal expectation. But it has to serve its community for a very long time. This means we have to build durably and we have to build very well. 80% of the total cost of a facility lies in its life after construction is done, in the maintenance and operations for its 25, 35-year period. That implies that we have to be very thoughtful about the decisions that we make in the design, the planning stage, and how construction is done, so that we're selecting high-quality materials that will be very durable. We're reducing the burden on the maintenance staff so that the Elements will stay in good condition right through to the end of their useful life. And we're deferring the need for major capital replacements, replacing the roof, replacing the mechanical system. The longer we can put those off and have functioning systems, the better we're able to use what resources we do have for critical needs that will emerge. We think in terms of life cycle costs, not just in terms of first costs. And if you think that way, then the initial investment becomes very important. We all do this when we think about the homes we buy, the cars that we buy. Do we spend more up front with the idea that it'll last longer, or do we spend less knowing that we might have to replace that car in a shorter period of time? We also know, however, that much will change in the life of a building. And we've seen this already. Educational programs will change. 10 years ago, people were barely talking about STEM and STEAM and other types of programs. Early childhood has become a focus, represented in the legislation which passed in 2002, which required that full-day kindergarten and pre-kindergarten for children from disadvantaged backgrounds be fully in place by school year 2007. That had facility implications as well. We're seeing project-based learning emerging more and more as a philosophy about how children learn, that they learn more by doing and working with their hands in group settings than they do by listening to a lecturer standing at the front of the classroom, transmitting knowledge. Obviously, combinations of teaching styles are important. That means flexibility within the classroom becomes very important. Information technologies are changing all the time. For a high school right now, which has, let's say, a 2.5-year construction time, the technology which is designed for opening day will probably be obsolete by the time the school opens 2.5 years later. In fact, the methodology right now is to actually hold off on fully designing the information technology systems until, say, 6 months before the facility will open, to make sure that whatever goes into that high school will be as it should be. That's how rapidly things are changing. The problem is less severe with elementary school, but we still are facing that same kind of thing. Building systems age differently than the building itself. If the building is built for 50 years in general, within it, mechanical system, lighting systems, the electrical system, the information technology systems, all will have to be changed out in periods ranging from, say, 20 to 30 years. So we have to build this flexibility into our facilities. And we know very well that also demographics change. The needs of children themselves will change over time as neighborhoods change. That has implications for how classrooms are designed, how many classrooms we need, what kind of classrooms, how they can be reconfigured. So durability and flexibility together become the dilemma. How do we build durable facilities that still have within them the flexibility to address these changing conditions? I'm happy to say the 21st Century Building School Facilities Commission was established by the presiding officers of the General Assembly and is in process right now. It'll develop recommendations this coming fall on a host of different issues having to do with school construction. We fully expect that the legislature will take these up in the coming session, and that what will come out of this will be an improvement, I think, in the overall quality of facilities in the state of Maryland, better use of the resources that we do have, always limited, never enough resources. We have to use our resources as skillfully as we possibly can. So I'm very optimistic about the future of school construction in Maryland. So congratulations to so many people. The Board of Education for its wise decision to support the replacement of this particular facility. It recognized the problems with the existing facility and was not going to be satisfied to simply renovate or upgrade this facility. And for recognizing the need for equity, that a facility in this neighborhood needs to be of the same quality as North Salisbury Elementary School and other schools that have been done. To Dr. Frederickson and your very fine staff, and I call out Ms. Liesl Ashby, who has done heroics in carrying this project and other projects through. I've worked with her for years. She is a leader in the state of Maryland and is recognized by other jurisdictions as being one of the people to turn to for innovative ideas of how to put together funding and the technical requirements to get the job done. She participated with her predecessor, Mr. Brian Ferre, who is now in Louisiana, in actually initiating in Wicomico County a new procurement methodology, construction management at risk, which we had in the books and no one had ever exercised until Liesl, Brian took it on and they worked it out, and now it's become a model for other jurisdictions. My congratulations to the architects and the constructors, to Becca Morgan Group and to Whiting Turner, great team, and I know you'll do a very, very good job of carrying this project through economically and on schedule, on time, as you always must. Congratulations to the county executive and the county council for supporting the project financially. It's a big stake, and we know that there are sacrifices made in other areas. We know you have many tasks to accomplish: roads, security requirements, hospitals. There are many other things that have to be done. By putting funding into schools, you've indicated the importance that education has within this jurisdiction. In particular, thanks to the members of the General Assembly, to Delegate Sample Hughes, Delegate Anderton. I believe you're the only members here today, so if you could convey my thanks and congratulations to the other members of the delegation and your colleagues. The General Assembly has shown support, enormous support, since fiscal year 2006, that's more than 10 years, recognizing that school facilities are very important. Maryland has put over $7 billion into school construction since the inception of our program in 1971. By California standards, that's a pittance, but by Maryland standards, that's a very large amount of money. I go around the state, I see school construction work happening everywhere. I see communities like yours that are proud of what's happening, and they see it as a rejuvenation, a refreshment of the community. The implications go far beyond the school building in terms of how the community thinks of itself. 3 administrations and the General Assemblies have supported school construction. The task is very large and the task continues, and we will continue to work together in some form or other to carry out this very, very large task. It will never be done, frankly. We know that when we finish one facility like this one, there's another one waiting for us. That's true in Wycomico County, that's true across the state. In fact, it's true across the nation. But by doing a project like this, we are making substantial headway, and the benefit to the specific children, the ones who are standing here, the people in the community, is something that I think we can all be proud of in terms of what we've accomplished. So thank you all very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. I'd ask, where's the air conditioning at? Right? Okay, but now I realize this is a room of educators, and every one of you just said, John Cannon just ended a sentence with a preposition. You're not supposed to do that. It's a pleasure to be here today on behalf of Wycomico County as a whole and the Wycomico County Council. I'd like to recognize Ernie Davis in the back, fellow council member. Ernie Davis and I had many discussions about this school along the way. Councilman John Hall was here earlier. We also have past past assistant executive director. Is that correct, Sharon? Sharon Morris is here today. I'm going to recognize you, Sharon. Sharon also had much input along that process. But it's a pleasure to be here today. I'd like to also recognize Dr. Frederickson and his administration, together with Don Fitzgerald and the Wycomico County Board of Education, together with past President Ron Willey, who sat across the table on many discussions we had in reference to educational issues. I'd like to thank all of you for your hard work that you've done. I'd also like to thank the Eastern Shore delegation for everything they've done for us, together with Governor Hogan and the Board of Public Works, and Dr. Lever, who was very instrumental in moving this project forward. It would go without saying, though, if I didn't also thank the community more than anything else for their hard work and their contributions to this project. It was a very well-driven effort. President Shani never misses a meeting anyway, but she was specifically there day and night pushing forward for this project. I was discussing schools the other day, about a couple months ago, I guess, and the impact of the environment that a school has on children and education as a whole. And as we all do nowadays, you Google for the most part and to try to find out something on it. It was very interesting. The first thing that I pulled up was from U.S. News and World Report from June of 2015. And in the very second paragraph in this discussion about the environment and how it impacts education was the reference to the fact that even in the state of Maryland, they had to go to the extent to create a policy where children could stay home if they didn't have air conditioning in their schools. And this is the U.S. News and World Report that was pointing out how crazy it was that this even existed, and they specifically directed this towards Maryland. So I thought that was very interesting that happened. But we're moving forward. That's behind us. We're moving forward. We have great administrators here, Principal Wright. We have great teachers. We know we have great students, and now we're going to have the great infrastructure. You can applaud. The groundbreaking celebration today was more than just about groundbreaking. It was more than just about bricks and mortars. It was a promise for a new future for our kids, for their families, for the community, for the county, and for the state of Maryland, for the country as a whole. Pleasure to be a part of that. The community demanded it, we're delivering it, and I really appreciate the efforts and glad to see the success. Thank you very much.
And we have continued support from the City of Salisbury with greetings from Jake Digg, the Mayor of Salisbury.
Madam Principal, Mr. Superintendent, Mr. President, thank you for having me here today. You can only prepare so much for these things because I was fully anticipating a crowd of second graders that was going to stay right here for this whole conversation. I was going to say to them, take care of your mentors, take care of your teachers, take care of your principals. Because one day you're going to be in a room and they're still going to be in the audience. Now, I'm looking at Kathy Townsend, I'm looking at Donna Hanlon here, two of my teachers, administrators, growing up, even your mentors, right, Lisa, right, Sandy? I mean, they'll be in a room, so be good to them. I was also going to say that I wanted to know how many former and current West Salisbury Tigers we have in the room. How many do we have? All right, okay, all right. What about you, young man? West Salisbury or no?
He will be.
Okay, well, I'm going to need you to do me a favor. Come up here.
He'll be in the new school.
Come here. What's your name?
He's right around the chair. So he's stuck.
Okay, what is that, Jackson? Jackson, come right up here. Come on, Jackson, are you going to be a Tiger? Are you going to be a West Salisbury Tiger? Can you growl like a tiger for me? Rawr. Can you do it? Jackson, give me a rawr. All right, we're all going to do it for Jackson then. Whenever I say West Salisbury, we're going to say rawr. They're all doing it. Everybody's doing it. You got to do it. So when I say West Salisbury, you're going to go rawr. Okay? Okay, West Salisbury. So, very good. They like it when you growl. They say that anything worth doing is worth fighting for, and I believe that when time has passed, we won't remember the struggle. Remember that our community and our leaders did the right thing for our kids. That's what we're going to remember. And so this morning, I want to say welcome to Salisbury. Because as you may know, we're not sitting on property inside the city of Salisbury limits right now, but we will be soon. That's a small part of this, but why does it matter? It matters because in the state of Maryland, in Wycomico County, and in our nation, municipal corporations are a tool. They're an economic development tool. They are how we get the schools and the apartment buildings and the shopping centers into our communities. And because of that, that's how we're able to grow. That's how we're able to grow and be the 42nd fastest growing job market in the country, out of almost 400 metro areas. That's how we're able to make things like this happen. And this is fantastic for that reason. But why doesn't it matter? And I'm going to be very brief, but this is why it doesn't matter that much. It doesn't matter because these are already Salisbury's kids. You know, these are Salisbury's kids, whether it's in the city limits or not. These are our community's kids, whatever you want to call them. And so, whether you grew up in West Salisbury, you went to West Salisbury, or East Salisbury, whether you grew up in West Salisbury, come on, Jackson, I'm counting on you. Or East Salisbury, North Salisbury, or South Salisbury, whether you had mom at home or dad at home or both, whether you're rich or poor, black or white, you deserve a school and design that lends dignity to your life. And I believe that West Salisbury is a place that's going to lend that. And it's a place where a great education, West Salisbury is going to achieve that. And that building does matter. You know, this building will matter. And whether any of us are here to see the next evolution, I hope that we continue that for a very, very long time here in Wicomico County and here in Salisbury, and that all of our schools, just like West Salisbury, lend dignity to our kids' lives. Thank you. Congratulations for all you've accomplished.
I'm going to have to remember that. And certainly, we have had continuous support from the Wicomico County Board of Education. So here to greet us this morning is Mr. Don Fitzgerald, the President of the Board of Education.
Thank you. What a day. What a day for this community. Pardon for my voice. You know, I do have some issues, so I apologize for that. But here with me today is the Vice President of the Board, Kim Hudson. Please stand. Also, Board Member Ron Willing. Board Member Calvin Elmore. And Board Member Joe Allen. You know, when I walked up here this morning, I asked Principal Wright Melville to me, it's bittersweet today. You know, all the years she's spent here, you know, and see it go. But you look over there at the pictures, in 2 years, the smile is going to be there again. And I know that. It's been a long journey. You know, I've been on the board for 7 years, and it's been kept pushed back. I know Brian and Lisa has, you know, West Salisbury have been shot down. But thanks to the county government for stepping up to the plate. To the state government, who's always been there. And this gentleman over here, Dr. Lieber, who's been a proponent for us here in Wicomico County. And I shared with him outside before we come in, he says, it's really easy when you got a good staff to present. And he was talking about Lisa and Brian before her. And it does make it easier. Also in the audience today is the new superintendent of Wicomico County in a few days, Dr. Donna Hamlin. Please stand. Dr. Hamlin she started as a long-term substitute in this building. So she shared that with me. So it's bittersweet for her too. She shared with me she didn't remember the young man's name, but this young man really touched her heart as being a long-term sub here. To Mr. Gosley sitting over there, him and I go a long way back, but I know it's bittersweet for you too, for being the first principal here and to see it go. But I hope both of us are around to see this new building and what it's going to bring to this community. You know, I spoke in front of the county council about this replacement new school because it's on the West Salisbury, and in this area, these students are deserving just like every other student in Wicomico County. So we got a few more rooms, a second floor at East Salisbury to get some air conditioning in, and Dr. Lieber will be 100%. And that's our goal. That is our goal. Because, you know, we were talking outside, it was a nice morning, cool. We, you know, I grew up with no air conditioning. You know, a lot of us in this room went to school without air conditioning. But we didn't have it at home. So it was just the norm. Now everybody's used to it, and when they come, it's bad. But, you know, going forward, I can't wait to see the new school. I've been a part of the process with serving on the school building commission, and, you know, I can't wait. And I know the teachers, the students, and the staff that's had to postpone this day for a number of years, they're going to be glad to see that shovel, big shovel, not those ones we used this morning, but the big shovel used and start demolition. So again, on behalf of the board, thank you. And also, Mayor, you didn't introduce Jack Heath, President of the council. Jack and I go a long way back too, and I want to recognize Jack this morning. He's also instrumental, even though, you know, he's not in the city yet, but he will be. But I know Melva talked about the support groups in this community. Bennett Middle got built with the community involvement by people supporting it. West Salisbury is getting built because the community is backing this effort. And that's what it takes. You know, and I appreciate it. They went about it the right way, and that's what it takes. But again, thank you. And to John, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Keep up the good work. And thank you, Supreme.
Make certain that we recognize Ms. Shani Shields, who is also a former city council member. This has just been such a heartwarming experience today. And it absolutely is fitting that it is the last day for students here at West Salisbury. You can clap. Oh, somebody's clapping, Ernie. And you know what? The last day of school is always special for any of you that have ever worked in a school. I tell them I cry like a baby at the end of the day because I'm going to miss them. The ones I saw more frequently than some others. And the ones, you know, every morning as we stood out front this morning, I have to tell you this real quick. That a couple students got off the bus and said, "Is the president here?" I said, because everybody's out here, it's got to be the president. And the next kid said, well, I don't know, maybe it's the governor. I said, well, I don't think the governor's here today either. We're just all here to celebrate you because it is the last day. And so thank you to those of you that came and greeted and hugged my children. And I call them my children, I guess they're our children, but we take that personally. We said to second grade parents yesterday in second grade awards that we try to love them just like you. That we know when they're here, we have to take care of them and embrace them just like you would in your house. And so we believe that we've cared for them just as their families would care for them. And so I thank the families for being here today. I thank our faith-based partners. I especially thank our central office staff that was here this morning, greeted our students, hugged them, our legislators hugged them, greeted them. This is a family school. And one young man said yesterday in a second grade awards, his remembrances of West Salisbury, he made the statement that this is a family and the teachers are like our moms and they tell us what to do. And certainly this is my family. I spend more awake hours with these folks than with my own girls. And so certainly, it is bittersweet for me because when you spend so much of your life committed to a building and its contents, and actually to this new project. I teased Dr. Handy and told her this was my part-time job, going to this meeting, that meeting, advocating for the new building. And then also, as our staff kind of breaks up for the next 2 years, making everybody think that the move is going to be okay, we're all going to survive it, we're going to be great when we come back together. And so I've had to believe that so that I can sell that to my staff. The staff here has been wonderful in the transition. If you see boxes, we're packing, because by Monday afternoon, everybody has to be packed to move, because Tuesday morning they're coming to move all of our staff's belongings before they end on the 16th. And so it's a tight turnaround. The staff has been wonderful, and I just thank everyone here, Dr. Frederickson, the assistant superintendents, the state legislators, the county government, city government, my staff, the parents, our wonderful PTA, all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing me to work in such a wonderful building. I have a 2-year temporary assignment, and then I'm going to come back to actually open the new West Salisbury School. And a special thank you to our assistant principal, Mrs. Hall, for handling a lot of stuff this morning. I had other duties, and she handled a lot of other stuff to keep it kind of off my plate. So thank you, Mrs. Hall. And so we still have a few more hours to go, and I have to go. I'm going with Dr. Eagle today out to the Shorebird Stadium. Dr. Eagle was recognized as the WMDT Teacher of the Month, and so I'm going to lunch with him out at Shorebird. But then I got to race back here because I've got to hug as many of those 320 students before they leave, because this is going to be my last hurrah with most of them. But you do know that our pre-K students, our current sitting pre-K students, will be second graders in that new building. And so I'm so excited. Now each one of our students, you saw them outside, they have their own shovel, but attached to that shovel is a tag that will say, June 9th, 2016, groundbreaking day. Today I was here for the last day of school at the old West Salisbury Elementary School. I helped break ground for the new school. I'm excited to be part of building a great future for West Salisbury students and families. Go Tigers!